Okay, so while scrolling through the various platforms, I came across a number of videos by teachers who are speaking out about what they're going through with the kids in their classrooms. We have a problem, people. We have a really big problem. And the problem is not the teachers. The problem is, what the fuck are y'all teaching your kids? Seriously, what are y'all teaching your kids? Because this is not the teacher's problem. This is very squarely, firstly, on the shoulders of their parents. You have kids who cannot really read, can't read a book. They go into college not being able to read a full book. They cannot write with any sort of cohesion. They cannot write on their own. They cannot communicate. But I mean, they'll plug into stuff into ChatGPT and let ChatGPT do the work, while they themselves can barely string two sentences together. And these kids are going into college and they think that being an influencer is a guaranteed career. Yeah, I know I'm putting this video up on my social media, but make no mistake, I'm not an influencer. I never wanted to be one. And in the event I ever do monetize social media, then it is just a fun hobby. I have an actual career and a job and a life. But fact remains is that teachers are leaving education in droves because of what they have to deal with in their classrooms. And this is an enormous, enormous alarm bell. And I don't think anybody's listening. And another creator put it this way: what happens when the worst people you went to school with start popping out kids? And I hate to say this, but yeah, true. That's a quiet part out loud, but that's really true. And this is actually also tying into something that I've written about in my blog years ago. There's a marked culture in this country, especially in schoolyards, which is encouraged, aided, and abetted by parents and some teachers, yes, too. I'm sorry, but not sorry. I'm not excluding them from this. But the culture is very simple. Smart kids get bullied by the popular kids. Because of zero tolerance policies, smart kids are punished if they fight back. The bullies continue bullying them well into high school, well into college graduation, into workplaces. And this dynamic has been encouraged, aided, and abetted for generations. This has been going on since at least the 80s. You only have to look at sitcoms and social and popular media from that era to find exactly what the hell was going on. What we're now seeing is the result of what happens when the popular kids who failed up throughout their lives are reproducing. This is what they produce: illiterate little brats who destroy supplies that teachers get from them, from the teacher's own money, who have no respect, who have no skills, no math skills, no knowledge. And the only thing that they do know is how to throw something into a computer and let the chatbot spit out an answer. Y'all, this is a problem. And the kids are like, well, how can you expect somebody to write 5 paragraphs in an hour? Y'all, are you serious? If you're of the younger generation and you're watching this, I got a whole ass degree writing papers at the last minute. Okay? I got a whole ass college degree doing that shit. Thank you, ADHD, but yeah. Part of that is I know how to fucking write because I had good English teachers who would not get off my back until I actually developed a freaking vocabulary. I read real books on paper. I took notes with a pen and paper. None of that ChatGPT shit. And mind you, also, I think this is more or less the reason why ChatGPT is being pushed so hard and why AI is being integrated to everything, because nobody actually wants people who know how to think, who know how to communicate, who know how to add. No, they want dum-dums who don't have any of these skills, because this is what happens when you actually want people to be subservient. You deprive them of an education. And the fastest way to deprive a mind of education is to make it lazy. Fastest way to make it lazy, make everything convenient. Yeah, I kind of learned that the hard way. And I learned that the hard way when I started studying for my professional level exams for my job. I passed the first one. It took me damn near a year of studying, because even though while I use all the knowledge that I have on my in my job every day, I wasn't retaining any of the studying unless I actually put a pen to paper, because taking notes online only goes so far. The brain has to form neural pathways to retain information. And guess what? When you're staring at a screen, that's not forming a new neural pathway. That's just doing the shit you do every day. The way you form it is you actually take a pen, you take a piece of paper, and you start writing. And people bemoan that, nowadays nobody can carry a conversation, nobody has any depth, because y'all don't fucking read. And again, this is a holdover from the whole beating up the nerdy kids by the popular kids. This is that same playground bullying brought to real life on a grand scale over the last 2 generations. This is the result. So, yeah, I am deeply unsurprised at this, but also I have to just ask, what the hell is going on within these kids' homes if this is how they're taught to behave? Because let me tell you something. It's not the teacher's job to raise your kids for you. If you decide to have a child, you, the parent, are the first teacher. And if you are not teaching your kids, then guess what? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with them? Like, what do you think will happen to them and with them if you do not take the basic time to instill certain things in them? But then again, I'm not surprised, because pretty sure the parents, y'all don't read either. Y'all don't read either. Because back in school, y'all were making fun of the nerdy kids, and y'all were in the back of the class cracking jokes and then whining, oh, I'm never gonna need this. Well, guess the fuck what? That's why your kids are inadequate. That's why the teachers are suffering, because y'all fail to understand just how much you need all that shit you made fun of in school. Y'all didn't know how much you needed that, and then your own kids suffer because A, they're dumb, and B, they're born to somebody dumb. Read a fucking book.